Johnny, are we actually at war with anyone at the moment? Yeah, war. War, Johnny? Well, it's hard to bloody know if we're at war, Johnny. Yeah. For all intents and purposes, we probably are.
Today, I'm announcing that the United States will be sending 31 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, the equivalent of 1 Ukrainian battalion. Secretary Austin has recommended this step because it will enhance the Ukraine's capacity to defend its territory and achieve its strategic objectives.
And Australia, I just looked up before coming onto this particular documentary. It seems we've sent bloody millions over there in aid and money and Christ knows what too. So are we just doing the US's bidding then, Johnny, as we've spoken about in another bloody video?
Already have our bushmasters and artillery. Now our soldiers will be helping to prepare the Ukrainians for combat. The first contingent of ADF troops are heading to the UK to join a multinational training mission.
Now that looks like we're at war to me, Johnny. Wow, who would bloody know such a... Wasn't there some sort of phony war at the start of World War II, Johnny, when nothing really happened? Yeah, there was a phony war, Johnny. Yeah, you're right, nothing much happened in the first couple of years or months of the Second World War. And people, in Britain especially, were thinking, is this a war or not? And there were certain circles of people making money out of this bloody so-called war. Yeah, this war's not too bloody bad at all. Yes, that's right. Have a look at these old buggers.
You can always get some on the side. I can't do without my scotch.
What are you kicking about? You could always turn a little petrol into a little whiskey, couldn't you?
Well, wouldn't you?
It's a lovely war. How many buckles have you turned out this week?
200 gross, I shouldn't wonder. The army's got to have buckles, hasn't it?
Especially if it's caught with its pants down. Still, I suppose somebody's got to make them. Take our lucky stars we're not wearing them, eh?
Charles.
Let's have a pint, Governor. One does what one can. They made it a reserved occupation, I didn't. Anyway, would I have done any more by sitting on the backside in France for the last 6 months? Or would I?
A new baby, 200 gross of buckles, unlimited petrol, and all the whiskey you want. You're sitting pretty, aren't you, Holden? Yes, it is a lovely war.
Well, wouldn't you if you were in my place? Wouldn't everybody? Doesn't everybody? War's a blasted phony anyway. I'm a bit tired of that. Tired of what? This phony war business. Well, isn't it?
No, it's not. I've just come out of hospital after 10 days in an open boat off the Faroes, and I'm sick and tired of blokes like you with soft jobs ashore. Come outside.
Now, don't be silly.
You make me sick. All of you. It may be a phony war to you, but it's not to all the boys at sea. Never has been.
Yeah, isn't the definition of war, though, Johnny, that you're getting fucking bombed? Yeah, it seems that way. If government or media doesn't tell us we're at war, that should, by definition, say we're not at war. But just because they say that doesn't mean we're not at war. And we're a long way away from getting bombed, aren't we, by Russia? One would hope. Well, what's Jimmy Dore got to say about it, for Christ's sake?
So here's the United States has announced it will spend $400 million to send 31 Abrams tanks to Ukraine for Russia to blow up, because that's all it is. And those tanks are worthless, and that's not going to do anything. This is just a transfer of money to the military-industrial complex.
So this all sounds very familiar to me, Johnny. This sort of half-assed war business that we're not really in a war because no one is actually in government or media has actually said we're in a war. We're just helping out, apparently. Yeah, so we're sending stuff over there, sort of half-assed committing troops over there, and isn't that what happened in Vietnam and World War II? If you're going to send tanks over there, you've got to send personnel over there to bloody run them. That's boots on the ground, isn't it? Isn't it what happened in Vietnam? We were just going over there as advisors, and the advisors ended up being about fucking 200,000 people. Jesus Christ! And what about Tucker? He's always got a fucking opinion.
It's Zelensky's 45th birthday today. He's getting a huge present. Ukraine is about to receive more than 30 M1 Abrams tanks from the U.S. military. That's a whole battalion of our most technologically advanced tanks we said we would never send to Ukraine. Now we are. So Germany, Poland, and the UK are also sending tanks to Ukraine. So what was going on here? Well, in a meeting of the Council of Europe yesterday, Germany's foreign minister casually mentioned that NATO has, in effect, declared war on Russia. Here's Annalena Baerbock explaining that World War III is already underway.
I've said already in the last days, yes, we have to do more to defend Ukraine. Yes, we have to do more also on tanks. But the most important and the crucial part is that we do it together and that we do not do the blame game in Europe, because we are fighting a war against Russia and not against each other.
Yeah.
Now, you hate to go with cheap historical analogies, but since this conflict has been framed since day one by our idiot class as a replay of World War II, it is fair to point out it's been a long time since the Germans sent tanks into Ukraine. Didn't work well last time, probably won't this time either.
Oh, Jesus, what the fuck? I think it's all just government and media propaganda, Johnny. Yeah, that word again. That's right, yes. We won't mention the W word because we're not actually at what that word might suggest. We're just helping that beautiful, uncorrupt country of Ukraine. We're just helping them out. Do people really want to go through another bloody... So technically, I think we are in a war, Johnny. Right. No matter what they bloody want to call it, for Christ's sake.